Welcome back everybody to another video. In this video, we're going to talk about Auro-3D once again. And I'm going to read this article. I've never read this one before, but when I read this, I'm going to give you guys my input on this topic. And also, it's going to help those who want to buy a receiver or a processor that has Auro-3D, and if it's even worth it to buy one that has Auro-3D. I'm gonna give you guys my take on Auro-3D, and technically we don't really have anything to compare Auro-3D to as far as like the actual pure sound of Auro-3D, just like Dolby Atmos. But obviously for Auro-3D you can upmix things, such as for Dolby Atmos it's going to be upmixed through the Dolby Surround upmixer. For your DTS-X, they use the DTS Nora X to upmix that, and then for the Auro-3D they use the Auro-matic to upmix that. Now that being said, as far as the upmixing go, it's all preference, right? It's whatever you guys want. Now, as far as Auro-3D go, and I'm not talking about the Auro-matic upmixer, I'm talking about Auro-3D. Even though you don't have the pure sound, you can tether off a Dolby Atmos track. So technically, you can have a Dolby Atmos surround sound decode track and then convert it to Auro-3D. That's what Auro-3D can do. So basically, that's the only time we basically can like listen to Auro-3D is when it's tethering off a Dolby Atmos track. Also, that being said, for the upmixer, anything that's at the actual upmixer besides the tethering off the Auro-3D, anything that you upmix is not that great. You're better off just going with the pure source. So I just want to get that out of the way. We're going to talk about we're going to read this right now together for the first time, and I'm going to give you guys some input, so bear with me here. Alright, so obviously this has been written back in 2022, now it's 2024. Dolby Atmos versus Auro-3D, what's the difference? With the evolution of technology, there has been a shift in consumer market from regular TVs to smart TVs, and from the headphones to earbuds. Audio technology has seen a progressive advancement evolving. When we talk about soundbars, there are many choices available in the market. Among those choices are Dolby Atmos and Auro-3D. They may perform the same functions, but certain characteristics make them different from each other. A consumer always wants a satisfactory auditory experience, and to do that, they need to research the best available options. Therefore, the information in the following article aims to differentiate and define both soundbars. Dolby Atmos versus Auro-3D, which is best? Let's explain both in detail, and then we will compare both Dolby Atmos and Auro-3D. What is Dolby Atmos? Dolby Atmos is a sound decoder, but with some unique features that are not found in Dolby Digital. Dolby Digital uses vertical technology to turn the two-dimensional virtual audio into a three-dimensional real sound experience. With the additional speakers placed on the top of the device, the sound waves not only echo from the wall of the room, but also the ceilings and the floors. Such a movement in the sound waves enables the user to feel as if they are inside the TV set, living the screen instead of sitting in front of it. The technology enables the sound to be treated as an individual object rather than just waves, Once the sound object tech is used, the sound can travel independently in every direction rather than traveling in straight channels. What is Auro-3D? Just like Dolby Atmos, Auro-3D is an audio decoding technology that relies on a layered format to approach the audio in multi-dimensions. The technology is layered on top of other in a pile, and two systems are merged to form one. Auro-3D uses channel-based technology and usually require many speakers to function. It uses a minimum of 9 channels and a 9.2 receiver, along with an additional 4 speakers. Auro-3D works best with rooms with high ceilings. Auro-3D is famous for its great sonic results and turns your home into a theater. What's the difference? The differentiation to differentiate between the two sound systems, we must consider a few factors. First of all, we talked about the space required for Auro-3D and Dolby Atmos. For Dolby Atmos, the space required is much lesser than that of Auro-3D. Secondly, the area that Dolby Atmos covers is limited, whereas Auro-3D has a wider range when it comes to a great auditory experience. The sound quality is good in both cases, but if installed with all its components, Auro-3D is better. Auro-3D consists of technology that uses layers sound systems, while Dolby Atmos uses vertical sounds technology to create the three-dimensional sound effect. Both can produce a adequate secondary sound and background noise adjustment. While Auro-3D is a channel-based technology, Dolby Atmos is an object-based one, which means that they both use different procedures to amplify and decode the sounds. Which is better? Comparing the two systems can provide us with a better view of which sound system to purchase when it comes to Dolby Atmos. There are many great features associated with this technology. To begin with, Dolby Atmos gives a real-life like auditory experience using its three-dimensional sound technology. Not only does Dolby Atmos provides the best primary sound quality, but also enhances the secondary sound apart from quality. Dolby Atmos requires a minimum of 4 speakers, which are placed in a way that doesn't occupy a lot of space and is well hidden from the aesthetic point of view. Both the sound systems are costly, but with some changes. Dolby Atmos can have its cost minimized to a reasonable figure. The problem with Dolby Atmos is that it requires certain room specifications without which it cannot function very well. Dolby Atmos requires a 9 to 10 feet flat ceiling, which might ensure that the sound quality is different in different parts of the room. The reflective speakers do not add to the sound quality either, and there is a scarcity of source material available at Dolby Atmos. When it comes to Auro-3D, the sound quality is amazing, which includes primary and secondary sounds. Speaking of room compatibility, Auro-3D would work in any room as long as it does not have a low ceiling. Auro-3D requires a lot more space for its speakers and does not provide an aesthetic view. The cost of Auro-3D technology, along with all of its components, is very high, but the quality of sound is uniform in the entire room. Just like Dolby Atmos, Auro-3D has a lack of content availability and source material, but it's a progressive path and more content can be hoped for the coming future. Now, all that being said, I'm in America and United States. We don't have any content that's in Auro-3D. Everything that we have is in Dolby Atmos, as far as in the movie theaters and the discs you can buy and order. So we basically we don't have Auro-3D, pure Auro-3D in the United States. And from the Auro-3D standpoint, Auro-3D is technically has the capabilities of object based, and it's not technically a channel based, even though they they do lean towards more channel based because they believe that their technology is like, do you guys remember Dolby True HD? To me, so Dolby True HD, it's a channel based surround sound, right? And then Dolby Atmos, that's the bed layer for Dolby Atmos. And even though Dolby True HD, you can have high speakers, Dolby Atmos from, you know, the Dolby technology, they enhanced that and added that object-based sound field, right, off the True HD. So that being said, that's pretty much what, let's say, Auro-3D by itself. Auro-3D is basically Dolby True HD in a sense, even though Auro-3D has the capability of tethering off a object-based sound field. Now, when you, from my understanding and from my research on Auro-3D, they don't believe that the true home theater experience for that three-dimensional space, you're not going to get that full immersive surround sound through object-based format such as the Dolby Atmos and DTSX. They believe that if it's more of, they believe that it's more superior, from my understanding, that when you have a channel base, so if you have it set a certain way on the way the Auro-3 have their layout, but having the speakers at a certain angle, at a certain position, and using that channel base because of the like three layers, the three-dimensional space for them, but not technically object based. They believe that that technology is more superior as far as surround sound go because everything is pretty much mixed in that type of channel. So that being said, I have experiences with Auro-3D tethering off an Dolby Atmos track. It from what I experienced is that it just takes what current decode I had and just made it louder. Now that doesn't mean louder is better. It's just that that's what it did. So we don't have a true way of testing Auro-3D because we need the Auro-3D player, we need an Auro-3D track like a movie, and decode and all that, but we don't have that in America. That being said, if you're thinking about buying a receiver or processor to future-proof anything, and you're thinking about just have Auro-3D for a format, I'm gonna tell you right now, you don't need it at all. As far as I know, as far as I'm concerned, Dolby Atmos versus Auro-3D, if Auro-3D is technically, if they believe that the technology is more superior as far as channel base versus the object base, I will have to say that Dolby Atmos is going to be far superior, especially when the technology of object base is going to be more enhanced in the future. And on top of that, we don't have any content in Auro-3D, and it's pretty much now it's just like, besides the automatic upmixer, if you tether off the Dolby Atmos to the Auro-3D, it's all fine and dandy. But as far as the mapping go, the true mapping will be in Dolby Atmos, and I prefer object-based technology. So my preference, if if even if I had the real Auro-3D, like the Auro-3D disc track, movies, the player, and I get that true Auro-3D that you would get in Europe or UK or wherever, I already know that I don't really need to hear or um, I don't need to like experience the true Auro-3D to know that Dolby Atmos is gonna be my go-to, my my decode for everything, you know? Because I know as far as Dolby Atmos, it is not perfect, but um, but as far as object based go, Dolby Atmos has the technology that will give you that immersion for that object based sound field, because that's the better experience. And it tethers off its bed layers, which is the Dolby True HD, and that's already pretty amazing format. So that's my take on Dolby Atmos versus Auro-3D. Maybe I'll make more a video like this. I don't want to make it too long. I already have already, but comment below, keep it friendly, like, subscribe, and tell me what you think about Auro-3D versus Dolby Atmos. Is there something I missed, something I don't know? You can look at my old videos on this subject, and if anything, I'll put in the link. But that's gonna pretty much wrap it up for this video, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hooded Dragons out.